Black Ops 2, a game that stuck in the mind of all of us. A game that brought us one of the best trailers of all time. Surprise.
Incoming.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was released November 12th, 2012. That's over 10 years ago now. I, along with so many others, have so many memories and nostalgia towards the game. It reminds us of a time when life was so much more simple and when we had so much excitement to get home just to see the awesome start sequence leading us to our next memory. I remember watching people like Vanoss and Nogla doing things like hiding from the lobby to win games, and I would hop on to see if I could do it with my friends. I was only 11 at the time Black Ops 2 came out, but I didn't stop playing it until I was around 15. Which begins to make me wonder, was it the game itself that stood out, or is it just nostalgia kicking in to make me think it was the game? And why does this game stand out from all the others? What really makes this game so unique? Before we get started, it takes a lot of time to put these videos together, so please consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Enjoy the video. I'd like to start off with the best parts of Black Ops 2. The most memorable part of the game for me is the multiplayer. You would load up into multiplayer to see that beautiful spinning globe where you could navigate from there. You had your online friends listed directly below your name with an easy way to invite them to join in playing some games together. You then had your options for league play, custom games, barracks to view stats, and much more. Once you had joined a lobby, you had options to create a class, change your score streaks, or even view the lobby leaderboard. Not only that, but you were able to vote for the map to play out of the two pre-selected maps and a third option for a random map if neither option was suitable. Here's where we get into the best parts of multiplayer. The map layouts were absolutely fantastic, with maps like Standoff, Raid, Slums, and many more. There was a map made for everyone. Each map was balanced, except for a few of course, where everyone was able to play and progress and make memories to think back on in the future. Gunplay was amazing, and the pick 10 system was great too. You could remove a perk or nade or even your secondary to make room for extra attachments or other things. The DLC released for multiplayer was absolutely amazing as well. You had 4 released DLC map packs, each with their own name: Vengeance, Uprising, Apocalypse, and Revolution. For $15, each map pack included 4 new multiplayer maps and 1 zombies map. Vengeance released with Cove, Detour, Rush, and Uplink, alongside the zombies map, Buried. While certain maps can still be debated on why they were or were not good, Treyarch still put their love into the game and thought of the players while making these maps. The Uprising map pack released with the multiplayer maps Magma, Encore, Vertigo, and Studio, along with the zombies map Mob of the Dead. Studio is a map that stands out from the rest in this map pack. It is a remake of Firing Range from Black Ops 1. It is one of the most favored maps of its time, except for Nuketown of course. Not only that, but it is a map with great spots for everyone. From trickshotters to campers, it suited everybody. Apocalypse brought Pod, Takeoff, Frost, and Dig to multiplayer, and it also released with one of Call of Duty fans' most popular zombies maps to this day, Origins. While the multiplayer maps of this pack were mostly forgotten about, the zombies map, Origins, has stuck in everyone's heads since its release. It's the favorite zombies map of many zombies fans. It brought along new weapons and special weapons called staffs, and introduced an entirely new way to play zombies. And this brings us to Revolution, a map pack that introduced the multiplayer maps Downhill, Hydro, Mirage, and Grind, and the new and debatedly the worst zombies map, Die Rise. The Zombies game mode was a newly established Treyarch exclusive at this point in Call of Duty. When it was Treyarch's turn to release the Call of Duty of the year, everyone was expecting Zombies not only to return, but to also expand on the game mode in gameplay and storyline. One of the unique points in Zombies are the storylines. There are 3 main storylines within Treyarch Zombies. The Aether story brought in through World at War, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3. The Chaos story featured in Black Ops 4, and the Dark Aether story featured in Cold War and Vanguard. For the sake of this video not being a storyline explanation, I'm only briefly going to go over the Aether story in Black Ops 2. In Black Ops 2, it's Maxis versus Richtofen in a battle to gain control. With the help of Victus in Transit, Die Rise, and Buried, Maxis gains control of the Aether, destroys the Earth, and punishes Richtofen by putting his soul into a zombie. Maxis then sends Samantha to Agartha, and he becomes mad with power. In Origins, after seeing Maxis go crazy with power, Samantha finds another timeline where she asks Primus and a younger version of her father to set her free and reunite her with him. In Origins, Maxis has his brain preserved in a jar by Richtofen after falling prey to zombies. By the end, we see Primus succeed in sending Samantha and Maxis to the house in Dr. Monty's perfect world. With Black Ops 2 putting even more toward the zombie storyline, it became everything it wanted to be. But nothing's perfect. Black Ops 2 is no stranger to these problems. The multiplayer wasn't perfect, there were zombies maps that weren't good either. Multiplayer had quite a few issues, starting with the small maps having horrible spawns. As with almost every Call of Duty, the spawn points have yet to be perfected. However, in Black Ops 2, there were maps that could have you dying right off spawn every single time you spawn. Take Nuketown for example. It was possible for people to hit insane wallbangs to win the game without you even being able to run out to fight them. Nuketown wasn't the only map with spawning issues. In public matches, the team spawn would often switch from one side to the other, making it so that after you spawned, you would often die by someone who spawned right where you just did. This was, and is, a horrible issue for the community. However, this game wasn't remembered for its flaws. It was remembered for how great it was. Regardless of flaws, you almost didn't want it to be perfect. Zombies had its fair share of issues as well, more due to certain maps and the way those maps played, starting off with the launch of the game, a map called Transit, arguably one of the few worst maps Treyarch has ever released. Part of this was due to hardware limitations at the time. Treyarch was trying to do something like Outbreak in Cold War, but way ahead of its time. With an open layout and several small maps built into one, it was a map difficult to play solo and even with friends. Die Rise had the same issue, except instead of being a flat layout, it was vertical. Instead of traversing through a set way through the map by a bus or just running through, there were elevators to take you up and down to travel through the map. It had the same unplayable issues as Transit, and I feel that's one of the reasons it is so memorable. Mob of the Dead, Buried, and Origins seem to be the best of everything zombies. Great layout, amazing gunplay, and fantastic special elements built into each map. There are several factors making Black Ops 2 stand out from other COD games. I believe some of them are time of release, which studio released the game, the marketing, the time setting, and how great the game itself was put together. The date of release was November 12th, 2012, back when most of us were still in middle school and high school. But we were getting old enough to enjoy these types of games more than we did when we were younger. It was Treyarch's year to release a Call of Duty, and everyone was excited for the zombies, and we were looking forward to a sequel of Black Ops 1. What got everyone excited were the commercials released for Call of Duty. They were well put together, they were funny, and they literally told you to take a break from life to play the game.
It's been brought to my attention that you may have a certain fondness for Call of Duty.
The community felt involved and were excited for the release of the game. Black Ops 2's campaign was set in the future, a first for Call of Duty games. Previous titles were set in past warfare, looking back at history. The player base was excited for something new. We got futuristic weapons that were balanced enough to be played in multiplayer. We got a futuristic campaign that had an amazing storyline. The depiction of future warfare was close enough to what we would actually believe to be realistic. There weren't jetpacks or hover or dash abilities. Everything was able to relate to what we already knew to things that were realistic for future warfare. All of that boils down to a good selling and well thought out game the community as a whole will enjoy. Black Ops 2 at the time had set records for its launch day, selling over 1 million copies in one day. With that said, I think fans of Call of Duty would like to see a remaster of multiplayer and zombies. It would be something that everyone would be excited for. We would be able to revisit our old memories with a new version of the game, filled with active players doing the same. We wouldn't have to go through a third-party software to find a populated game of Black Ops 2. These videos take a long time to research, write, and get clips for, so please be sure to like to show your support and subscribe for more content like this. I don't have an outro. Peace.